Hello everyone and welcome back to another Gotham City Chronicles video. We're doing another mission from the core rulebook, or core scenario book if you prefer. It's called Biological Scourge and it features Ra's al Ghul teaming up with Ratcatcher, which is a bit of a weird mix, trying to fill the subway station with infested rats. So the villain actually has to be proactive in this mission. They're attempting to do a thing. If they don't meet the minimum required of getting infected rats on the table, which are denoted just by these markers, just get one of these to show you, then it would be at best a draw. The heroes have to try and beat up Ra's or Ratcatcher to get a serum canister from them and try and keep the number of rats on the map low. There is a handgun or a service revolver on the map right there, and there is a crowbar which you can just about make out to your left over up here. One reinforcement point here, two reinforcement points on the right, you can see one of them. And a mixture of hazmat thugs, prisoners, brutes with shotguns, and I think that's it. And we'll cover the villain specifics in a moment, but let's look at the two heroes we're using today. So we're using the bog standard core Batman version once again. His gadgets he's bringing along this time, which are off to the left, you can't quite see them. Tear gas batarangs, an electric batarang, and an explosive batarang. He's going all in on the batarangs this time, and they have to have 3 energy starting in their fatigue zone for this particular scenario. And Azrael is making his debut. Got his model painted up, we'll cover it in the next painting video. He by default has the flaming sword, I think it's called the Sword of Sin, I don't quite remember. It gives him a red attack die based on his normal attack dice, which is already red. He's very combat focused. Combo, retaliate, and martial arts level 1. I think is that counterattack level 2. He can do 3 hits, the same as Batman. He's got very similar combat stats to Batman. He's lacking in everything else in terms of like manipulations and whatnot, but that's not going to be important for this mission because it's an automatic success to crush an infected rat underfoot. So those are the two, and he has the same amount of energy as Batman as well, and we'll still be using the additional rule of getting 1 extra energy back to try and make it a bit more balanced. Let's look at the villain board. So here's what the villain board is looking like. Both Ra's and Ratcatcher have 5 health each. They have 9 energy to play with, and none of it starts over here for them. And this is how the river is set up. So hazmat thugs super cheap. Brutes, Ra's, the warning symbol, which can be used to just give back some reinforcement points, or to control the rats as well as less reinforcement points. That means any rat markers on the field can get moved 2 squares away. Then Ratcatcher, the brutes with shotguns, and the prisoners. So the goal of the villain is to just put down those rat markers. The only ones that can do it are Ratcatcher and the hazmat thugs, and they have to do a manipulation of 3, I believe. Oh no, it must be, I was going to say it must be a thought, but Ratcatcher only has thought, and the hazmat thugs only have manipulate, so that's a little strange. Hang on a second, I wonder if that's an oversight. I'll need to check the updated version of the scenario, if so, to see what it says. Let's see. Ratcatcher can do a complex thought of difficulty 3. Hazmat thugs do a complex manipulation of 3. Okay, so they've thought of that. So they both need to beat 3, but they're doing it on different skills. So fair enough. So they're going to be running around the subway trying to put down those markers. If at any point there is 6 markers, I believe. Let's check. Yep, the villains instantly win. Otherwise it goes to the end of Hero Turn 7, where they have to try and get the serum off of one of the 2 named guys and have it less than 2, or 2 or less. Let's see. Villains, heroes win if there's fewer than 2. So there has to be 0 or 1. So with that, let's get started. So as we go into Hero Turn 1, I forgot to show where Azrael is. He's right at the tippy top right of the board. Batman is right at the bottom left. They are starting on opposite sides. And he doesn't have any range weapon by default, he doesn't have any back gadgets, so the service revolver is basically on this map for him, because Bruce can't use it anyway, because he refuses to use any guns, any killy weapons. So we're going to move with Azrael. We're going to move his free movement first of all. We're going to go 1, 2, I think. Or do I drop down and take out that brute, I wonder? I want him to go to the gun, essentially, but I'm just deciding which way would be better for him, because right now he can't do anything at range. Either way he would have to use the same amount, but he could beat up some thugs on the way. The shotgun thugs are pretty dangerous. I think I'd rather take out the shotgun thugs. Yeah, so, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot, obviously they're both going active, and because we're using that roll for +1 energy, they get 3 back, not 2, so they have their full 11 to play with each. He's going to spend 2 out of a potential max of 4 to move 2 more squares. He has parkour level 1. So he's just going to hop down there. I think that's a level 1 drop, I'll check between takes. And he'll sword the shotgun brute. Let's come over this way a little bit. He is going to attack the brute on him. They've got 2 defense. Let's use 2, which means 2 red dice, but his flaming sword gives him another 1. We're looking for high numbers here. Not great, honestly. 2 would go away to his automatic defense, which means only 1 damage is coming through. I'm going to spend 1 on a reroll to reroll the blank. That's more like it. That's 4. That makes it unrealistic to get a successful block, so he's going to go, because it would not be worth trying to keep him alive. At this point, I still want to move with Azrael. We're going to spend 1 more on movement to come into this square here, and we're going to beat up this hazmat thug. Unfortunately, he can only spend a max of 1 more cube attacking, which means he gets 2 dice in total because of his sword. That's good. They have automatic defense of 1. So he needs to block 3, but the hazmat thugs are very important. So, yeah, the villain is going to spend 2 to try and defend that. He needs to block 3 on 2 orange. Almost could use a reroll. How deep do you want to go here? They have 4 rerolls potentially. Yeah, they'll use a reroll. They will try to get a 2. And they did, so he survived. In that case, Azrael is probably done for now then, and he'll get the gun next turn. Because he can't attack. He literally can't. So, we're going to move over to Batman. So as mentioned, Batman is down on the opposite end of the table. I want him to go grab the crowbar because he can use it. It's not counting as a lethal weapon, so he can pick it up and use it. His back gadgets don't count against his weight limit, so it's not going to slow him down or anything like that. So he's going to go 1-2, spend 1 on an automatic manipulation to pick up the crowbar, which gives him an extra orange die, let's put it there, on any physical attacks he does. Now he does have ranged attacks, so I'm going to spend 1 to move him 1. He can also move a maximum of 4 by spending cubes like this. It's going to put him here, which gives him line of sight down to that thug that Azrael could not take out. Let's see if I can move the camera up a little bit and zoom it in so we can see what we're doing. There we are. So, let's see, on a ranged attack right now, he's got Batarang, so it'll be an orange plus a rerollable yellow. I really want that hazmat thug gone, so he's going to spend 2. So it's 2 orange and a yellow die that can be rerolled. Oh, wow. Well, rerollable yellow. Well, there's 1 success, which would go away to his armor. I'm just going to take that as a loss. But then, out of frustration, he's going to spend 1 more on a ranged attack and use the electronic Batarang, which is these stats. You get a red and a yellow die, and then it does 2 true damage if it breaks or breaches their defense. So that's 1 more orange, which we already have, a yellow and a red. Get rid of that. Good enough. It breaches their defense. The yellow's rerollable. Actually, no, it's not, because it's not a normal Batarang. So no, it's not, but it doesn't matter. So that hazmat thug is gone. Already costs more energy than I wish it did. I was going to then go after the hazmat thug on the top left of your screen right now, the one with the shotgun brute on it. But unfortunately, Batman can't do any more ranged attacks. He would have to move over there. You know he's gonna. I always I think I'm too conservative with my heroes for their first turns. Let's move him twice. He's going to have to rest turn 2 at this rate, but it might be worth it. It might be worth it. Because the hazmat thugs are going to activate, because they only cost 1. So he's going to move into that square in the top left of your screen. It's a bit hard to get view on from here. And he's going to punch the hazmat thug for... He's definitely going to rest, so why not go in? He's going to go in for 3, which means 3 red dice, and then that crowbar is giving him an orange die. And he's going to destroy him, in theory. Yeah, 7 is going to do it. So the hazmat thug is down. And then he can use combo to do 1 red die against the brute. It would need to be a 3 to matter. Nope, because he's got 2 automatic defense. Batman's good, has him done for the turn. Azrael will move 1 more time into here. He will pay 1 to do an automatic success to pick up the gun. So anyway, I started blasting, and that adds a black die to his ranged dice, which are rerollable yellows. That is going to be the first turn done though, and they might end up both resting on turn 2. But there's only one Hazmat Thug left on the table, so the villains are going to have to reinforce pretty quick. So we're over here with the villain board. These would come back here, but then immediately go over here. We're obviously activating the Hazmat Thugs first. There's only one left on the board, and he's going to just put down a rat and move, so we'll just put his card back in the river. And the other activation for the turn is going to be reinforcements, because they desperately need the other Hazmat Thugs back. So that's the 2 activations they're doing. It's, how many reinforcement points? Sorry, just let me lean over. It is 3 reinforcement points, and the Hazmat Thugs are 1 each, so they're just going to spend 2 of those to... Actually, you know what? They'll do control the rats then, because then that's 2 reinforcement points. Oh no, you do get 3, and as long as Ratcatcher is alive, you can move infected rats. So we'll move a rat token if the one Hazmat Thug on the table puts it down, because it would have been on the table before activating the reinforcement tile. So there is the one Hazmat who's left on the table. He is rolling a white and an orange, and he needs a 3. He got a 3, so he has put down an infected rat, which is denoted by that symbol right there. Then we activated the reinforcement tile, and I'm doing the secondary one called Control the Rats. You can move this 2 tiles. It's going to move 1, 2 into this room down here, so that it's far away from the heroes. The 2 reinforcements also come in, and it's, well, we had 3 points to spend, spending 2 of it because the Hazmats are more important than the Shotgun Thug. They're coming back in at reinforcement point here. I can't remember if that's 1 room or if that's 2 rooms. You can check that in a second. The other one's going to come in over there on the difficult terrain. But that's the villain turn. So we're going to move into hero turn 2, although I suspect they might just end up resting. So as we look at what the heroes need to do, I totally forgot Batman would have had the elevation bonus when he was doing the ranged attacks on the Hazmat Trooper next to Azrael, because he was on a higher platform. Would have been an extra yellow die thrown in. Totally forgot, can't go back now unfortunately. Batman's going to rest, which means normally he would get 6 back, but because we're using that rule he's getting 7. So there we are, he still has 3 in his fatigue. But he's doing nothing this turn. Azrael is going to go active, because there's one very specific thing I want him to do. So he's only going to get 3 back. And with that, we can just quickly pan up here and show you what he's going to do. Because he's going to walk with his free movement to go 1, 2. And then he's going to use that shiny new service revolver to shoot at the Hazmat Thug who just came in over there. Oh, and incidentally, that is another room separate from this room. So actually, the Hazmat Thug is right in the corner of the screen there. But yeah, he's going to shoot at the Hazmat Thug that's right in front of him, right smack dab there. Let's just go for 1 into range attack, which means a rerollable yellow, and then the service revolver is a black die, saving some for rerolls here. Not going to need it. That is 6. He has 1 automatic defense, so he would need to block 5. That's not going to happen. He came back onto the field to immediately get a bullet in the head. That's all Azrael's doing though. So that is turn 2 for the heroes over with. So for the villain's second turn, this is all going to end up coming back down here. We're going to activate the brutes, so it's just a 1 cost, and a few of them are going to move. One of them can definitely attack Azrael this turn, so we'll handle that in a second. The second activation is going to be Ratcatcher, to see if he can help spread some infected rats before he ends up getting jumped, which would be a 2 cost. And we'll worry about Raish next turn. So that's what we're spending this turn. Let's go see what that ends up meaning has happened. So the brutes, first of all, this one is walking forwards and is punching Azrael. They roll 2 white dice and a yellow die. That is a pretty good hit. Azrael has basic defense of an orange die. He can put in extra orange if he desires. He's just going to take it on the orange and hope for the best. At best he can block 2, which he did. He took 1 damage. Not too bad. Other brutes to the bottom of your screen down here, there's one. He's just going to go 1, 2 to help to help bodyguard Raish, because Raish and Ratcatcher are important. He's going to stay blocking there, so it's not a free move to get through it. And the other one, he's going to back up. He's going to go 1, 2, help protect this Hazmat Thug, and that's about it. The other activation, Ratcatcher himself, he's in this building. He's pretty safe in terms of like everyone blocking him, and it's an empty room, so you might as well try and put a rat in there. And he rolls a white and an orange. So let's see, he's needing 3. He didn't get it, so I'm going to spend on a reroll on the white die. Just needs a single success. It's a 50-50 chance. He could spend again. He's going to spend again. He's going to try for that reroll. 50-50 chance. He got it. So there is now a rat token here. That's them at 2 rats in total. But that's the villain turn done. So Batman is obviously going active because there's no reason not to. He has his full energy to play with. Azrael is going to stay active as well. So he's only getting 3 back. Well, 2 again, up to 3 because of the rule we're using from the new rulebook. So he has a fair amount of energy to play with. 6 in total. So that's what they're going to do. Now give me a chance to just have a quick think about where I want to move them, because Batman is very far from where he needs to be. Alright, so we're going to start with Batman. However, I did forget to mention after checking off camera, the drops from this upper layer down to the lower layer is actually a level 2, not a level 1. So Azrael would have to have used an extra movement point or taken some fall damage. So going forwards we'll try and remember that. Batman is just going to ignore that thug because taking him out is pointless. He'd just end up getting reinforced where he'd be more useful. So it's going to cost him 1 extra to move away. So he's going to go 1, 2. Then he's going to spend movement to go 1, 2, 3. Let's put him all the way down there, which is a big cost unfortunately. But that's 3 movement used up. Right there. And then he's going to chuck Batarangs off to his right. So we're going to need to move again, apologies. And hit the brute that is on Azrael's square. He's going to use normal Batarangs. He's putting 2 in. So that is 2 orange dice plus a rerollable yellow dice for the Batarang itself. Or should he put in another one? He'll put in another one. So it's 3 orange and 1 rerollable yellow. Really want the brute to go down. He's got 2 automatic defense. Yellow's rerollable for free. So that would be 2 hits coming in, all said and done, because of his defense. Let's spend on 1 reroll and hope that this is something other than a blank. Okay, well, we'll take the 2 damage. There's 4 energy to play with on the villain's side. He could save him. He'll spend 1 and try. All he needs is a 2 on an orange die. Well, Batman's wasted his turn. Is there anything else he wants to do? He's got 4 energy to play with. Nah, I think he's good. Let's just move even more to the right and just decide what Azrael was doing. It was supposed to be that Azrael would move away free and easy thanks to that brute getting taken out by Bruce, but that's not the way it's going to go. So Azrael's going to need to do it himself with his flaming sword, so let's try that. Let's put in 2. Flaming sword adds a 3rd red. Not great, to be honest. 3 going through. Villain running out of dice to spend at this point though. Have to spend at least 2 to even have a chance, and even then it's like, well, 1 and 3 in both dice. Not worth it. That's going to take him out. He was resilient though. Took a Batarang to the head and kept going. Now from where he is, he can't see in the subway car that Raish is in. You'd have to, because the orange lines don't match up, you'd have to be over here. He's got his free movement for the turn, so he might as well move. He'll move down here. That's 1. And then he'll move in here for 2. In the lion's den. He has to use his whole movement when he has the chance. He will strike at the brute with the 1 extra die he can put into physical combat. It adds another red for the sword. Not good enough. He'll spend on 2 rerolls to try for 2 3s. Come on. It somehow ended up more or less the same. He'll spend on a reroll. He can spend 5 max on rerolls. Oh, come on. Well, I'm spending on a reroll again. I'm going in too deep. Okay, well that becomes 2. It is savable, so the villain will spend 1 energy to try and save this. It just needs a 2 and an orange. He got a 1, so he did go down. But it cost way more than it should have. That is going to be it for the hero turn 3. So we're going to move on to the villains. So we're back over to the villain board. They get 5 energy back. So not that. Totally forgot incidentally, I keep forgetting the other new rule in the new rulebook where if you do take a rest turn with a hero, they can still make use of their free movement, so Batman should have been 1 square forward from where he is, so he's 1 step further along on the subway, but that's it. It doesn't change anything he would have done. He still would have done the ranged attacks, they still would have failed, so nothing else changes. Activations for this turn. Raish is activating. He's going to go smack Azrael for his turn. Beyond that, let's see, what's the most useful? The most useful would probably be the prisoners, definitely, because they can get some sneak attacks. So that'll be the 4-2, and that'll be the villain turn. Let's go see how that plays out. So Ra's al Ghul was first up. More than enough movement. You can just walk in here, have a cool looking sword fight in a subway car with Azrael. Now he has a few choices for what he can do. He can do 1 3 yellow dice attack, or he can do 3 single yellow dice attacks in close range. He actually has ranged options as well. Would that be better to do? Because then he'd stay safe with his goon. No, he needs to be there to help the sneak attack proc. No, so he will go in for the close attack. He'll do 3 yellow. That seems like the better chance of doing damage against an orange automatic defense. On Azrael. So Azrael's got orange. He'll just use that, which is nothing. He takes 2 damage. Better than expected, honestly. So with Raish being there, that means any of the prisoners that walk in are going to get their bonus for sneak attack. I'm going to need to go double check real quick what that is, but we are going to start with this one, following Raish and initiating an attack, and then they move 3, so I think at least 1 more can get in there as well. Alright, yeah, just double checking. So as long as the menace indexes of enemies and allies is equal to or higher, they get automatic successes, pardon me, based on their sneak attack level, and they are sneak attack level 1. So the one that moved in is rolling a white and a yellow die, but he counts as having 1 automatic success on top of none. Azrael still needs to block the 1 automatic success. It doesn't work like martial arts, which I just realised I've been forgetting to count on the sword attacks, which might have made a difference. Probably would have. Yeah, definitely would have actually. I've been forgetting martial arts this whole time. You know, there's blind spots. He fully blocked the attacks. Hopefully that balances out. They moved 3, but it is difficult terrain, so that would be 1-2. It would need to be 3-4, unfortunately, so he can't really get in there. The other one can move 1, 2, 3, and smack Batman. Doesn't get the bonus, but hey, he can still smack him. And then there's one down the bottom left that will just move into view in a second. 1, 2, 3. To again help bodyguard this hazmat thug. So the one that's hitting Batman, no bonus, just a yellow and a white. 1 automatic, or 1 success rather. Batman has orange as well. He blocked it, so that's fine. I can't believe I forgot martial arts this whole time. I don't think it would have made a huge amount of a difference because they've mostly been doing bad ranged attacks. It probably would have mattered for Azrael killing the hazmat thug, because as weird as it sounds, martial arts does affect attacking with a big sword that's on fire. Either way, we are moving into hero turn 4 of 7. So for this turn, Azrael is resting, which would mean he would normally get 5 back, but he's getting 6. Unfortunately, he's a bit on the defensive right now. Batman is going to go active, so he gets 3, giving him a total of 7 to play with. And as for what he's going to do, he needs to get in there and help take out Raish, is the plan. Let me think about it for a second. Alright, plans have been considered, although there is actually some work going on next door and it's making my dog get annoyed and bark every so often. Just pretend that a dog's escaped into the subway and is running around barking at the rats. It'll add to the ambience, maybe. So, Batman needs to get into there, but there's a bunch of hired goons in the way and that's very, very frustrating. He's going to punch, just the once, this thug right in front of him. This time I'm going to remember martial arts and they're all going to pay. 1 red die plus an orange for the crowbar. So that would be 3, it becomes 4, they have 1 defense, right? So martial arts comes back down to a 3. Doesn't have that much energy to play with the villain, so that's going to be a knockout there. Take him out of commission. He's going to use his free movement, hop down here. He's going to do the exact same thing again. 1 die spent to punch out this gentleman. Much better, that becomes 5, back down to 4. Also difficult, that would take the 2 best results on 2 orange dice. Nope, he's going to go as well. Now, this is difficult terrain, isn't it? Yeah, but he's got parkour level 1, so he should be fine. So it would cost 1 to get in there with Raish. Actually, there's an orange line, so he doesn't need to get in there. What he could do is what I planned, which was use up the explosive batarang for just 1 really big hit. Yeah, we're going to do that. He's going to go all in. At most he can put 3 into a ranged attack. He's doing it. So that's 3 orange The explosive batarang adds 2 black dice, which are very 50. They're 50-50, but if they hit big, they really hit big. Let's see. Wait, the prisoners don't have bodyguard. No. Okay, we're good. Not a great roll, but we can do some stuff with this. Hang on a second. He's got 2 energy left. He'll spend them on rerolls. We shall reroll a black die and an orange die. Better. Okay, it's better. So that's a total of 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. Raish has 2 automatic armor, so that goes away, leaving 6 damage. He needs to at least block some of it, or he's done. So let's spend... He needs to block at least 2 of it. 2 orange dice, because he needs to have some to spend on next turn. Although we'll get 5 back, but 2 orange dice to block at least 2. Oh, you hate to see it. Spend 1 on a reroll. He's fine. So he blocked 3 of it, meaning that he still took 3 damage. So he has 2 health left. That's still very good progress, because only like one of them needs to get taken out. You don't need to take out both of them. So good progress on him there. But that is going to mean both heroes are going to, well, Batman definitely has to rest. Azrael can go active next turn though, so maybe he can finish the job. But either way, villain's turn 4 it is. So this is the state of the villain board. 5 of it is coming back over here. Raish is in trouble, but he's also too expensive. It would cost 6 to activate and get out of there. So instead they're going to focus on the objective, which is flooding the place with rats. So the shotgun thugs aren't going to do anything. Spend 2, activate hazmat thugs. So they'll do stuff. And then the other activation, control the rats maybe, and the reinforcement points, get the hazmat thug back on and maybe a couple of the prisoners. Yeah, that seems like the best bet. Not a lot of energy to play with this turn, but still. So some reinforcements will come back on after the hazmat thugs have taken their turn. So this hazmat thug right here is going to try and put down an infected rat. So that's a white and an orange, needing 3. And he did it. So there's another infected marker right smack dab there. And then he's going to move. He's going to go 1, 2, because he can't really be as easily caught there if the other 2 are focusing on Raish. So he's ran off screen to your left there. The other one that's on the table, over right here, he's going to try and do the same thing. He did not succeed. Spend 1 on a reroll. He got it. That's getting very dangerous now. So at this point the reinforcements would activate. 1 hazmat is coming back on with 2 prisoners for the 3 points in total. They're all coming back right here. And control the rats kicks in because Ratcatcher is still alive. So all rats on the table can move too. So let's see here. It doesn't say rats aren't allowed to be on the same square, I think. Actually, I'm not sure on that. This one's pretty safe, this one's pretty safe, this one's pretty safe. This one's sort of safe. I actually don't think they need to move. I think it's okay. They just need to get 2 more down and they actually just outright win. So that, yeah, I think they're fine. They don't need to move. We'll go into hero turn 5. So Batman, he is resting, so he gets 7. Again, the 6 he would normally get plus 1, but doing nothing. Azrael is going active, but he only has 2 to spare, so it goes like that. And he's going to try and take out Raish. That's the goal here. So let's just awkwardly pan the camera up and zoom in a little bit to this sword fight that's happening in the subway train. And Azrael wants to make sure it happens, so he's going all in on Raish. 3. So that's 3 red, plus a 4th. Oops. 4th for the sword. Cut Raish down. Not great. Not a great roll. He'll spend on 3 rerolls to get rid of those 1s and hope for 2s or 3s. Overall better, I think. So, he loses 2 to Raish's armor, but he gets 1 back for martial arts, so let's just put that as a 1. So that means 6 damage is coming into Raish. He has 1 cube left, so he literally can't defend it. He is down. So Raish is gone, and because he's on the same square as Raish when he took him out, he automatically has the gas canister, which I just realised I don't have the symbol for looked out, so just as well really. So that's part of the victory condition for the heroes, but they also need to make sure that some of the rats get squished, which is the unfortunate part. Oh, does he have combo? He does! 1 red dice against the prisoner. 2 comes up to 3 because of martial arts, back down to 2. Again, don't want to spend on armor, so whoop. Glad I remembered that because that's very helpful, because now he can use his free movement a little bit unabated. He's got parkour level 1. He needs to get over to the other side of the table. He's going to go 1, and then unfortunately that's as far as he can get because this brute here would stop him being able to move freely. Which I'm not sure you can convincingly see. There we are. There he is right there. That's it for his turn. Batman's rested. So, villain's turn 5. So, the villain gets 5 energy. Going to spend 2 to activate the brutes. And then another 2 to activate Ratcatcher. That's how the turn is going to go out. Ratcatcher's just going to try and put down a rat pile, because if he does, 1 more and they win. So before Ratcatcher's turn, the brutes go. He is obviously going to just punch Azrael. 2 white dice, 1 yellow die. So that's 2 damage coming in. Azrael just is going to take it on his automatic defense, and he actually did fully take it. The other brute on the table, they move 3, 1, 2, and he's also going to punch Azrael. Also only got him for 2, can't really afford rerolls. Azrael's going to take it on his... Wow. For once, his automatic defense die is enough to hold up against the onslaught. So for Ratcatcher's turn, how much does he move? He moves 2. He's coming out here, 1, 2, and he's going to try and put down a rat marker right there. He rolls a yellow and an orange. Sorry, a white and an orange. Not close enough. He would need to reroll both. They don't have that kind of energy. So no, he's not going to do it. So with that, on to the second last turn for the heroes. They need to start squishing some rats. So obviously Batman is going active. There's his 3, 2 plus 1. Azrael is also going to go active because they need to start squishing rats, like I just said. So he's also only getting 3. It gives him 5 dice to play with. But I think he needs to do some movement. Well, let's see how this goes. So I've rethought the movement thing. Azrael doesn't need to move. What he needs to do is clear the way for Bruce to get through. So he's going to attack, and he's going to do 2, which in total means 3 red dice on one of the brutes. That's a very nice result. That goes up to 6, but comes back down because they have 2 automatic defense. So essentially that's 4 damage. They don't have the kind of dice they need to buy defense. Plus they need 2 of them. So that brute is gone. Then he's going to get his free combo attack, which is a single red die. Would need to be 3 to matter. Nope, fair enough. And then he'll spend 1 more to do another attack. So that's 1 plus 1 red die for the sword. Needed to be better than that. Needed to be better. Nope, he's not going to spend any more because he's probably going to have to go active on his last turn as well. So, no, he's done. He could use his free movement to move 1 square. Sure. So that would normally be 1, but because there's an enemy there, that'd be 1, 2. He doesn't have elusive or whatever that skill's called, as far as where he has parkour and the one that makes dangerous terrain less dangerous. Bruce is going to use his free movement to go 1, 2 and say, hello brute that Azrael just ran away from. I'm here to finish what he started. He's going to spend... Spend 2. So it's 2 red. Oh, I have to stretch over the camera, plus the orange for the old crowbar. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's the kind of roll I come to expect. Let's buy 3 rerolls and try again. Better. So 5 up to 6, back down to 4, still enough. But the brute is gone. That's actually the last brute off the table, so that's now their tile flipped on the river. So we'll just flip that now. So they're done. Batman's used his free movement. He's not going to get over to a rat this turn. This is bad. This is very bad. He's going to buy a point of movement to come in here and say, hello, gentlemen. And then he's got 1 punch left. How much automatic armor does the brutes? The shotgun brutes have 2. Ratcatcher has 2 as well. It's not likely he's going to hurt them. He'll try and hit the shotgun brute, I guess, with his last punch. So that's 1 red plus 1 orange. Almost good results. It does do 1 automatic damage. Oh, sorry, it goes up to 4 and then down to 2. So it says 2. Does the villain want to try and defend that? Probably not. Needs it to activate the Hazmat Troopers and maybe even Ratcatcher, because then they could just win. So they're gambling on that, I think. So he's going to go 1 automatic red against the Ratcatcher. Isn't going to do anything, but hey. Nope, would have needed to be a 3 to do anything. That's their turn. So if the Hazmat Thugs and or Ratcatcher put down a rat, right? Because it's 2, 4... No, they need to put down 2, I think. I only have 1 more marker. Either I'm not seeing a marker or I haven't looked one out. We'll find out in a second. So this is the last villain turn for 5. And this is their last chance to just outright win. They still could technically win, because if there's still more than 2 rats, or more than 1 rat, sorry, after the last hero turn, they technically still win, I believe. Or I might say it's a draw, we'll check that if it has to happen. But, oh yeah, race should be flipped as well. So, first things first, getting rid of 2 energy forever over here to dredge Raish's card from the river, make everything cheaper. So that's just gone now. Then, spending 3 to activate the Hazmat Thugs, like that. They're going to try and put down those rats, might need them for rerolls. They don't have enough to use Ratcatcher, so after that it would just be the prisoners to go, assuming that they need to. Might need the rerolls though, so they might only activate 1 tile, but we'll work on that theory so far and see what happens. So it comes down to this. Hazmat Thug right there, he's going to try and put down a diseased rat. White plus orange needing a 3. We got it, so there's a rat, and it does need to be 6. But if we just shimmy over here then, the Hazmat who got reinforced a turn or 2 ago, he is going to try and put 1 down. Double blanks, not worth the rerolls maybe? Well, the rerolls are either being spent on him or the other one, they can only be spent on one of them. They have 2 dice to play with actually, you could do both. He'll buy 2 rerolls, because this is for the victory. Ooh, 1 more reroll. You can purchase another reroll. 1 more. That means they're only activating the 1 tile, but if this again doesn't come up a blank, they just win. There's a game to be played. Okay, there is going to be a final hero turn, but they need to get rid of 5 rats. Let's see if it happens. So it all comes down to this. They are of course both going active, so that means they get 3. This is flipped the wrong way. There we are. They're both getting 3 to play with, meaning that Azrael has 5, Batman has 6. And we'll see if we can make this a thing. To crush a rat, it's an automatic manipulation, so they just need to spend a cube and it's done. Let me just double check I'm right about that. Yep, automatic manipulation action. So. I believe Batman or Azrael can leave this square freely because the menace of Ratcatcher is countered by there being an ally there. Batman is going to go, or should Azrael do that? No, Azrael should. He's going to come in here and go in here. That's 1, 2. Spend an automatic manipulation, crush the rat. Spend 1 to move. Come back out here. Spend 1, crush the rat. That's 2 down. There's 1, 2, 3. Batman needs to take out 2. What can Azrael do to help? He's got 2 energy left. He can spend 1 to move out here. Again, Batman counters Ratcatcher being here. And he'll spend his last cube on a ranged attack against him, and he doesn't get a negative because Batman counters Ratcatcher again. So that's 1 reroll yellow plus a black die from the revolver. No reroll on the black die because he's got no cubes left. Not good enough. Nah. It was a long shot, that's okay. Batman then. He is using his free movement to move here. He is paying 1 to smush the rat. Get smushed, the sun. Then, how much would this cost? Normally it'd be 1, so it'd be 1, 2, 3. He can do it. He can actually do it. He's spending 3. Oops, he did a pirouette. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that Hazmat Thug being there would make it more difficult than an automatic, but he has 2 cubes to spend anyway, so I'll spend 1 on a punch just to see what happens. Although you could also have spent it to make it a 2 cost manipulation, but I don't think that's how it works. So, red plus the crowbar. 3, up to 4, back down to 3. The villain has no dice to spend, so the Hazmat Thug goes anyway. And then Batman spends a cube on an automatic manipulation, crushes the rat, and that's 4 of them done, so I believe, let's check the victory condition. grab the book here. At the end of hero turn 7, the game ends. Infected rats have completely overrun the station if there's 6 on the board at any time. Victory conditions. Fewer than 2 infected rat tokens are on the board and the hero has the gas capsule, which we got from beating up Raish. Is there 2? There's only 1 left on the table, right here. So for once, the heroes have actually won. Amazing. So that is a rare sight on the channel, the heroes actually winning for once, and that was despite forgetting martial arts for the first turn, forgetting the free movement the entire game again on a turn in which a hero rests. It takes a while to get new rules factored in for turns where you usually do absolutely nothing. It's worth pointing out the villains win if at any point there was 6 infected. At the end of the game they would also have won if there was at least 2 infected rats on the table, or if the heroes had not been able to get the gas capsule off of either Ratcatcher or Raish. If you hadn't have done that, it was also a lost condition. It's either or, not both. So there's actually quite a few ways that you could have lost. But against all odds, just imagine Azrael and Batman just stomping with their boots in a subway as rats run around them. That's how you win, sometimes. Anyway, that is going to do it for Biological Scourge. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you in the future for more. Until next time, ta-ta for now.